All right. Welcome, Smutters, to another episode of Sibs Read Smut Podcast. I'm Ned.
And I'm Helen.
And this is a podcast where we read, rate, review, and tell jokes, all while discussing your, but mainly our, favorite romance novels. Dirty romance books. On today's podcast, we'll be talking about Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. It is a good one. Spoiler alert, we will be talking about these books in full. Beginnings, endings, everything in between. Twists are fair game. If you have not read the book, hit pause, go listen real quick. We probably won't wait for you, but that's okay. We're ready to get this going. Helen, why don't you give us a brief summary of this book?
So I will give you a brief summary, and I will actually give you a brief summary that was written by Ned. And so enjoy. This is all you've ever needed to know. I don't know why Goodreads hasn't hired you yet to write their book summaries. So, Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. Chloe Mills hates her boss, ... but wants that dick. While working an internship while getting her MBA, she serves Bennett Ryan, aka the Beautiful Bastard, and panty stealer and sexual harasser? ? Will they blow up their professional lives for a chance to bang into the sunset? That's it.
Yep.
That's all you need to know about this book. That's it. So,
the
end. See you next time.
I think every other, I have in my notes down here, plot points. Bang everywhere? ? I think the office, their offices, the conference rooms, the stairwell, the elevator, the car, the
hotel,
the undies shop.
Oh yeah, gross. Changing room. I hate that.
That's been a theme lately. We that's our third book with the changing room session. What was
pucking around? I'm sure. What was the other one?
No, there wasn't a changing room.
I just assumed pucking around.
There was things we never got over. He dry humped her in Vicky's.
In Vicky C's. Yeah, Victoria's Secret.
and then it was Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks. They almost get busy.
Yeah, that's not a pod book though. That's just a private citizen read.
Private read.
Private read. Where honestly, all of these should be private reads.
Yeah.
Probably specific to this book. There is not how far into it is the first? Like, is it page 10? I mean,
half a chapter. I mean,
yeah. It's immediate.
There's immediate sex, and we've read a fair amount by Christina Lauren.
Yeah.
I've read a fair amount of her books: The Unhoneymooners, Love and Other Words, Paradise Problem, In a Holidays, which I liked a lot, True Love Experiment. And Something Wilder, and that's just on the first page of their Goodreads, bio.
So Christina Lauren is actually two friends. I have their names here. But they started writing as a team. So it's Lauren Billings and Christina Hobbs, and so they're Christina Lauren. But I feel like they have a category of books that are like Beach Read After Dark, the Brads that we love so much, that are like, they have a lot of plot. They're also open door. They have really hot scenes, but they're also like legitimate, like literary books. And then this is just like sex, like smut, like just.
I mean, every other chapter is a session, a session. Well, that's how I'm going to say it politely on the podcast. Is them fucking.
I mean, basically, it's wild. I feel like, I think I wrote in my notes that it didn't even feel like a book. It felt like this is for somebody with a fetish of like a boss secretary or like a boss intern fetish, and like this is what you like workplace boning, and etiquette be damned, getting caught be damned. Like,
Yeah.
not etiquette, ethics. I mean, etiquette too, but ethics, like whatever.
Well, and we don't even get to any kind of meat of the story for a while. Like we don't find out that he's coming back to take over the COO
From
position
France.
of his dad's advertising firm, and he's coming back. Like we don't learn that till later. We hear Chloe having the day from hell. Her car is like on the fritz, and she's late to work, and her boss is a dick, and whatever else. And then he just like feels her up in a conference room and fucks her against the window, and
he
it's
makes
like,
her stay late, and then he
what?
just like.
But I mean, like you have a sex scene before you even know anything about them.
Any backstory.
Yeah, and a non-consensual at first sex scene too. Like I wrote down in my notes. I was like, is this not? Is this workplace harassment? Is this sexual assault? Like he's literally grabs her ass without her consenting or anything else. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty big fucking deal in today's society. But it's also written by women, so maybe that's something that you can be into, I guess. I don't know.
There was so this book I think was originally written in 2009, and it was written as it was just on the internet, right? So it was just an on ebook,
written by them.
Written by one of them. And so it was written, but it was published as, it was called The Office, and it was published under like a pseudonym. So like TBY something or other. So that was the only way you could read it. And apparently, officially, it was Twilight fan fiction. So I've never read Twilight or even seen the movies, which is really kind of dating me there. But so I have no reference of how this would be Twilight fan fiction, but according to the internet, it is. And so it was published online, just online, and then it had like started to get 2 million reads, and she actually pulled it down. I don't know which one of these two authors. So she pulled it down in 2009 because she was like weirded out by how popular it was. And then in 2010, she started writing. They started writing as Christina Lauren. 2011, 50 Shades of Grey was released, and then it was. And this, I love this quote. That was some University of Utah professor said that The Office, the online version of this, paved the way for 50 Shades and 1,000 other imitators. It turned fan fiction's porn without plot into porn as the plot. And I was like, oh, that is extremely accurate. So after Christina and Lauren started writing together and became Christina Lauren, then they reworked The Office. And so they said only about 20% of the original story is still in Beautiful Bastard, but that's essentially where it came from. So
good research, Smell.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It was in-depth and informative. No, I mean it's interesting backstory to the story, because it does kind of read like something that is not like their other books. It is something that is like unique in a way, and I wonder what, because I have not read the second book of this series. I think there's more books in this series.
Beautiful Bitch is number 2. I started listening today.
Did you download it on the library?
I'm listening to it on Spotify. I don't know if it was on the library. You can check the other places, but
that's the interim book. That's 1.5.
Yes. So there are let's see, I actually wrote it down. I think there's 5 primary works in this Beautiful Bastard series, and then there's 13 total works. So there's 7 novellas. Can I do my math? There are 8 novellas. Cut that out. That is a blooper. Just kidding.
Bloopies.
Bloops. So Beautiful Bitch follows up on this exact story. So on
he sounds like a whiny asshole right away in the description of this. When Chloe's career starts to take off, Bennett wishes it would all slow down long enough for him to spend a wild night alone with his girlfriend. Wah! Like, yeah. I mean, the character types are fun. She's kind of a sassy, not going to take any crap kind of woman.
I love that.
And stands up to his kind of gruff demeanor. And you come to find out down the line that he was gruff with her because he wanted to fuck her right away. Like, he saw her and was like, "You're plowable. I can't be nice to you." And it was like, okay. So he was just like, mean boy on the playground. And it was dumb. But I mean, he at least, up until he did that smarmy little, this is business talk outside of the hotel, he was a standard, like, assholey type boss. And it was, it was reminiscent of the hating game and, like, other things where, like, coworkers or people who work in a thing. But this is a little bit more troubling considering it's her direct superior. She's an intern at their company.
Yes.
And
an MBA intern. So she's not like 18 years old. She's 20, 26 or whatever.
Yeah.
She's getting her MBA and she's whip smart. I think she started working for this company and became really close with the owner. So the father of Bennett, I forget his name, but
he was the assistant.
Mr. Ryan.
Yeah, Emmett. He was Emmett, I think is his name.
Yeah.
So she was his assistant to start
originally,
and then went back to school to get her MBA, and then is doing her school sponsored internship with the same company, working for him for Bennett.
For Bennett and the whole Ryan family, the people who own this media company, really love her. So they have her over for dinner. Like the wife of the dad, like the dad and the mom of this family think she's really smart. The mom tries to set her up at one point with another. Yeah. That's a plot point that kind of moves the story forward where he gets really jealous. But they
they bone anyway.
Anyway. The amount of times that she
mom's
says,
like, go apologize to her, and then he just rails her in the bathroom.
And then they get caught by the sister.
Yeah.
But
there's no consequences for any of this, though.
Anything. And the amount of times that she's like, we need to stop this. I'm not going to have sex with him again. I'm going to move on. And this is
like the
going
first
to ruin
7
everything.
times. Yeah.
I don't know. If you drank every time she said that, you would be wasted.
It seemed very toxic.
Yeah. So, but she has this relationship with the family outside of Bennett. Bennett's been in France, and then he comes back, and now he's her boss, and all of this craziness ensues. But, and so she stands to lose a lot, and it's truly not until probably the second half, even the last third of the book, where they actually start addressing, like, hey, this is your job and he's your boss and this could wind up really badly, and like the societal expectations of like, oh, if he's banging the secretary, like that's not a big deal, it's just part of business. But if she's sleeping with the boss, that's like the double standard of like, well, she's sleeping her way to the top. The
power dynamic is it was a little the first scene with the
it's just so sudden.
No consent fondling turned into no condos and no conversation about it. And then when he was like hate fingering her in the stairwell, the no condo again, but she does finally bring it up. She's like, "Hey, thanks for coming to me, dude. Like you didn't even ask if I was on a pill or whatever."
On an IUD.
Yeah, and but it still like wasn't an issue, and they never used condoms again. Like she's just like dropping loads,
spurts inside her.
Yeah. Oh man. But I did love her power panties. She loves wearing like sassy underwear that makes her feel strong and powerful. And he steals them, which is weird
every time.
And puts them in his pocket and like keeps them in his desk. It's like okay, dude.
He puts them in his desk. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were like in the bottom drawer of his desk or something.
I'm trying to find La Perla underwear.
Is it a real thing?
Oh yeah, I knew La Perla. I'm trying to see how much it is. Let's see. What did he break of hers?
Garter. Well, no, he it was all panties. Just rip them panties
Oh
off.
my God. A Brazilian brief in off-white with levers lace is $210.
For one pair?
One pair. A bra
Fuck
is
you.
$315. This pair... Oh,
Are
here.
they made out of spun gold?
Black cotton Brazilian briefs, $100. So, no big deal. Ew, there's literally no fabric on this underwear, and it's Brazilian brief in black lace, $295.
Hold it up. Show it to the...
I don't know if I'm gonna...
Good God. All right.
I have to clear my search history after this.
Yeah, well, you're going to see so many ads for that stuff. It's like Ben's going to find it and be like, "What the hell? I can't afford this for Christmas."
Listen, Costco over here. You can get cotton undies for
do they make big girl
10.
sizes?
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh man,
It's double the cost though.
yeah,
That much string.
A whole ball of yarn.
Gross.
Oh
my
man,
God.
but yeah. So she shops for all these like fancy underwear and makes her feel like a woman, and it's like okay, and she has this project that she's been working on for her MBA thesis, like master's thesis or whatever, and she's taken on like $1 million, multi-million-dollar like account that is big news. Like no other intern is getting to work on a project this big, and Bennett has given her pretty much the run of this account, and we find out like at the end that he was like giving her a lot of trust, whereas she felt like she was doing good work, and then he made some off the cuff kind of assholey comments, and that was their the low point where they broke up and whatever, and then this doesn't conform to a whole lot of book tropes, but his grand gesture would kind of be he once again just demands that like we're going to get back together and you're going to give this presentation on your original thing, even though she quits her job.
Yeah, she ends up leaving.
She ends up leaving the company and everything else. And then, of course, he tells his dad and brother that he's been, boot scooting boogieing her for like the last like couple months, and there are no consequences again.
No.
Nothing happens to anyone in this book. Bad. She doesn't have any consequences heaped onto her. He doesn't have any consequences heaped onto him.
No.
And then they just get together at the end again. It's like, yeah. And they go to a conference in San Diego.
Before. So, and that's before the breakup. They're at this conference, and then he gets like sushi poisoning, and so she takes a meeting for
Sushi
him.
Poisoning.
And this like the guy that they have the meeting with is like a jerk, and was like, well, she did an okay job, and Bennett like leaned into his personality, supposedly saying like, yeah, she's green, she's got a lot to learn, and he called her a kid, and she overheard all this, and she was like, he doesn't respect me, he just told me that he likes me and wants and thinks that I'm like an amazing worker, but I can't talk to him about work now after hearing how disrespectful he was to me. So he she blows it all up. She breaks up with him, resigns, and goes and works at some competitor, and then they get back together, and then he like shows up at her thesis presentation and just demands for them to get back together. And they do,
as one does.
Of course.
Yeah, it was it was another one of those books like Hockey Sluts.
Very much porn as plot. I love that. I'm going to think about that all the time now. There's not a lot of other plot besides the porn, because there's not even a lot that moves the story forward. I mean, like he showed up to something.
It's very episodic.
Yeah.
He
shows up with a woman, she gets jealous. Then the family tries to set her up with a guy, and he gets jealous. And then they fuck. Something else happens, and then they
everything.
fuck.
Yeah.
After everything. It's like, oh, how do we get past this? Oh, you should sit on my dick. It's just...
Yeah.
Check.
I'm gonna finger your butthole, and then we're gonna have a relationship
stuff in here.
Maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I've been reading a couple different books.
Jesus.
I just finished book 3 in Knock 'Em Out.
I'm
again
60%. Don't tell me anything. I'm obsessed. I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's great. And then I'm almost done with what was it? Good for a Girl, I think, where she is mistaken to be.
Did you pick it based on the cover?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Here, let me see here. There.
Huh.
Yeah. See.
Okay.
You know, art, cover art. You know.
What's the Goodreads rating on that one? Do you know?
I don't. You know, probably not
probably
great.
Low. Just kidding. No disrespect. The Goodreads rating on this one, surprisingly high, 3.9. And then I will say, I think one of the differences reading, because we read this Christmas of 2022. Happy holidays. Was the first time we read it.
Old Saint Nick.
And then this time it's just reading sex for 320 pages. But this one, the first time I read it, I wanted to light the book on fire and not revisit it. It was kind of like, well, I just think time of year, it wasn't what I was looking for. And now, after reading it again today, and doing this research, like the background research on it, I think I'm curious to read the other books in the Beautiful series, because people online are like, Beautiful Bastard is the worst of all of these 13 novels. Not the worst, but like people's least favorite. They love the other books in this series, so they always say read it just because it's part of the series, but you can skip it and just go to the other ones and you would enjoy them much more. So now I'm curious to read the other ones.
Are you going to read all 13 of them?
I don't know. I started listening to Beautiful Bitch this afternoon, and it's just kind of, I might need a break from Chloe and Bennett. But the second one, there's Sarah, who's the other
assistant
friend,
in the office.
The other assistant. Yeah. She falls in love with like a Wall Street bro, I think, and they end up getting into some weird, like really kinky shit. But people loved that book. And, I'm a Goodreads whore. So this book was 3.9 on Goodreads, and then all the other ones are 4+, like the novellas and the other main books. So I might give them a go. I think I was inspired this time to read more of the other one. Like how they, half their books are much more like, not normal, but like beach reads.
Yeah.
And more accessible, I should say. Open door, but accessible. And these ones are not that. But if that's what you're looking for, this is a great series.
Little kinkier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to your point, there is definite, like boss secretary, like kink vibes throughout this whole thing, and I mean, not my thing, but I get it, sure, like whatever, but yeah, it was. I think it was more looking at it a little bit more. Introspectively, because of the podcast, I enjoyed it a little bit more my second time reading it than I did the first time through. Yeah. And I mean that being said, it was just like, well, as we talked about on other books too. I want a little story with my sex, like butter me up a little bit, please.
Butter my bread.
Yeah, warm me up. Buy me an appetizer first.
Yeah,
there was a sniff for you right into the microphone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. But so they do bring up the power dynamic.
Yeah, finally, towards the end.
In the elevator, like I'd probably say halfway through, after they have their elevator like bang sesh, where someone calls the elevator because he stopped it and put a post-it note over the camera, and she's like, "Do you not get how like bad this is if the door was to open or someone like sees us with sex hair coming out of the elevator together. You're my boss. Like it does come up briefly, but once he assaults her in the in the conference room, it's pretty much just on anytime they see each other. He follows her in the stairwell, and they do it again. Follows her in the elevator, do it again. She sees her in the underwear shop, do it again. Follows her to her car to scream at her again. They fuck in the car. It's like okay, and they don't really.
There wasn't a lot of humor in this book. I mean, I'm sure I feel like there were moments that I like laughed, but it wasn't like even the other Christina Lauren books where at least there's like humor to it. I mean, it's no Lucy Score where you're like laughing every chapter because something ridiculous happens. But I just didn't. There wasn't a lot of like laughter to it. It was kind of a much more like not serious because it's her boss and intern, but yeah, there wasn't a lot of LOL moments. In my opinion.
Except for my description.
Except for what you wrote about the book. That made me laugh.
Yeah. But they go and they start acting out their they start acting like boyfriend girlfriend when in San Diego, and they're like, let's just give it a try, let's like be nice to each other. Literally that's the best they can hope for is like be nice to each other and don't argue with each other.
Yeah,
and it's like okay, and he's like, hey, I have an hour between meetings. How about you just blow me, or like whatever. It's like, oh, okay. And they do, and they go up to the room and fuck, and it's like I was 10 minutes late to my meeting. I hate being late. It's like, well, these are all problems of your own making, dude.
Yeah.
And then she's having her like pre-flight freak out because she doesn't believe that he wants to be boyfriend girlfriend when they get back to Chicago, and then she hears him saying all this like overcompensating stuff, and the whole conversation on the plane was weird because he's like, oh, I'm sorry I was being possessive. I was like, what?
Yeah, he wasn't being possessive.
That was like condescending and shitty.
In his mind, he was being possessive because he said he was trying to like downplay her to the other outside guy so that the other guy wouldn't try to hire her out from under the Ryan Media group.
Right.
So he was trying to like downplay how great Chloe was. And that in his mind was like, I was being possessive because I didn't want other people to know how great you were.
Idiotic.
That was his.
We're not supposed to say that anymore, I think. But
idiotic.
But,
you can say that. That's not on the list.
Did you get the list too from what's her name's blog?
No.
There's like 10 things that don't mean what you think they mean or whatever.
No, I've never heard of this.
Who is Katie Couric's blog? Had an article about
Katie Couric's blog.
I got on some mailing list where I get her email blast to my junk account. So I click on it every now and again.
Katie Couric, thank you.
Maybe I signed up. Maybe I signed up for it after we read her book. Because we listened to her autobiography, or whatever. And that was compelling. That's a good read, people.
A lot of sex.
Oh yeah, lots of boating. That was dirty.
The old Couric. 2-finger Couric.
Please don't sue us.
It's a romance pod. We'll get her on here as a guest. She'll love it.
Yeah, we'll read something real slutty.
We love your work, Katie.
Yeah. Cootsack. But yeah, I mean, and would you call this an enemies to lovers?
Yeah, I think because you have to. There's just not another. I think the trope would be like boss employee or boss intern, and they're absolutely enemies, but they're also kind of enemies like the whole way through. Like they don't really stop being enemies until the
very
end. But they're still I like when the main couples in books are sassy with each other, like when they swear and like say sassy things and poke fun at each other. I appreciate that because it feels very real life for me. And so these guys do that, but it's kind of intense, kind of a lot. I mean, they're mean to each other. And so then they like come around a little bit at the end. But yeah, I would say enemies to lovers, bosses and interns. Boning. I mean, this is porn. I mean, like, what are you like in the best way possible. But yeah, there's not a lot of plot here. We did forget about her dad. Chloe has a bit of a backstory. Her dad is in California,
Minnesota, I think.
Yeah, and he gets sick at some point, and her mom died when she was younger, and the dad has like a health episode, and so she has to fly home for it. And so while she's gone from the office, he realizes how much he misses her.
Yeah, his balls hurt because he hasn't seen her in so long.
And then they meet in San Diego at this conference, and that's when they agree to start liking each other. Yes.
Yeah. They just boned for 3 days.
Essentially, yeah.
Or however long they were there. Maybe it was a week. I don't know.
I think it was longer. Yeah, 4 or 5 days. But yeah, so that was some backstory. But that's all you get.
Yeah, and I mean, you get a little bit more backstory about Bennett too, where he's coming back from France. He's won, or he had a very prestigious schooling over there. He's a published author in like the New Yorker and stuff like that. Like he's a very impressive dude for being 30, you know, or whatever it may be. And he comes back at the behest of his father to take over the COO job of the entire like conglomerate. And by everything, he's a very impressive dude. He had a fiance or a very long-term girlfriend when he was over in France. I think it was just long-term girlfriend, but like 3 years or whatever, and they're talking about like sexual history because she's like, you're a man whore, and he's like, I haven't been with anybody since we started doing it, and she was like, really, what? And then they bring up her history, and she's like, I've dated 3 guys, and she's like, you've only had sex with 3 people? She goes, 4.
Yeah.
Whoa. I was like, oh, okay. I don't think that came across as gotcha as you meant it to be, but
I thought it meant like you're the 4th, like, and that's
what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it did. I think she said it, and it landed in like okay. I don't know.
All right. Well, this book, and I'm never having read 50 Shades.
You haven't?
No.
Oh my God. We're adding that to our list.
Yeah,
I can't believe. Have you seen the movie?
No.
All right. Carry on with your.
No. Dakota Johnson topless? No, I haven't seen that. No, but it reminds me of The Secretary. Did you ever watch that movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader, I think?
No.
Where he is... It was like light BDSM, so like that paved the way for that. I mean, that came out in like the early 2000s or something.
Okay.
So it was a long time ago, but it was like she screwed up writing a letter, so he spanked her, in the office, and then. It was definitely that kind of stuff, but this was not reminiscent of that. They don't do anything like hella kinky like that in this.
Which now I can't believe you've never read 50 Shades. I'm having a hard time getting over that, and I'm glad we're adding it to our list because there is very much as this book and people who have read, and we'll talk about 50 Shades in a separate pod, but I think there is a lot to be said. 50 Shades is this next step up. Well, they don't work together, but he has like a sex dungeon room, and then like they need safe words and they need all of this stuff, and so there is an element of like 50 Shades is another step above this. Like they don't ever do anything, I think, in this book that's like too off the charts when it comes to like sex stuff, whereas like 50 Shades kind of normalized like having a red room and having like whips and chains and like all that kind of stuff.
The hell's a red room?
His room is red.
Why?
Like the sex room is red. I don't know. I haven't read it in years, but that's my memory of that room, is that it's red and it's like velvet and like a sex dungeon, and there's no windows.
There were no sex dungeons in this one.
There were no sex dungeons in this one. This was relative to 50 Shades. I remember flying home, I think from seeing you in California, and I was sitting next to a woman on the plane. She was like over 80 years old, and she plowed through 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, she did. Plowed right through it.
Literally in the 4-hour flight, like from LA to Chicago. She like finished it, and at the end of it, she just like sat there with her legs crossed, like strumming the book, like she's like sitting middle seat in this fucking airplane. And then
Did she have Benoit balls in or something?
Oh my God, probably. Honestly,
she had a little rabbit in her pants.
God, gross. We shouldn't know what that is. But she, like,
we shouldn't. We read. We are literally doing a podcast about reading sex books.
They are romance novels. This is
so
literature.
Literature. What website did you steal that from?
That is, I don't know, but I know the girl who stole it from another website, so we'll, it's out there. When we go to Romance Con in September, I'm sure we'll see literature everywhere. But
we got to make our sweatshirts for that
we
too.
We do. Siblings, not spouses. All right, keep it clear.
I wore my Hunkle shirt again the other day.
Did you in public?
To John and Nena's kid's first birthday.
Oh, that's adorable, actually. Okay, that makes sense.
I told everyone
Perfect
the story about going to your mom's group, and I was like, I'm going to wear the Hunkle shirt so that everybody just knows that I'm not your husband.
That's part of the problem of like when we hang out. Like we always hang out on Valentine's and we go to dinner, and sometimes it's just the two of us, and it's like, nope. We're just siblings.
We are family.
Dinner on Valentine's. Very romantic. I think we look alike, but people still just make assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a huge beard, so I mean,
do have a beard. Actually, I work very hard to keep it, to get rid of it. Paid a lot of money to have it lasered off, so we could be even closer to twins. But I paid a lot of money.
Santa.
Lucy's gonna start pulling on my like chin hairs soon. No.
I was watching Mike and Molly, the TV show the other day, and she, the grandma, his partner's grandma, was like, talking about her one chin hair. She's like, she's like, you can only see it in a certain light, but it's really strong.
It's true. Mom has already made me promise that if she goes into like a nursing home that I will come once a week and pluck her chin hairs. Like that is her main concern. And like when it's her time and she goes, I have to make sure that they pluck every chin hair, because if she's like on display at her funeral with chin hairs, she was like, I'll come back and haunt you.
I know, like, she should be worried about the bathrobe mafia. I mean, she needs to get in there and get ahead of that. Mm-hmm. Make friends with them.
That's right. She's more worried about her chin hairs.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But yeah, the not having read 50 Shades is like, okay, but I mean, to me that's not like staple of the genre. You know, that's.
Oh, I think it is. I think that it.
It's hard. It's hardcore. Like, you know, like
it is, but it was, I think, so popular that it was not like, I think there was right before this, there was like Nora Roberts and Bodice Rippers, and there was a lot of like period pieces. Like there was very much a romance section, but I think like 50 Shades of Grey, and apparently this book that influenced 50 Shades, according to the internet, Beautiful Bastard, or The Office, influencing 50 Shades, I think it normalized open door sex scenes in these kinds of books where like everybody read it. Everybody read it. That 80-year-old on the plane read it. I had read it. I read it with a book cover, I will say. I actually put paper cover over it because I was too embarrassed to read it.
You were fucking high school?
Yes. Okay, this was like 2011, all right? I don't even know if I had a Kindle at that point. I absolutely bought the book and put a book cover over it. I'm sure it was a paper bag. And then...
You paper bagged your sex book?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like putting a beer in a paper bag. Yeah, I did. But then to see this woman on the airplane just... like gobbling...
Letting it all hang out.
Gobbling down 50 Shades was impressive. But I think it normalized so much of this, and now it's been made into these movies where you see Dakota Johnson's titties and you see all of this stuff where like I think now having the romance, like the beach read after dark genre is so explosive right now, and there's like romance bookstores, like entire bookstores dedicated to this genre of books that I really think has really taken off in like the last 5 years. Big time. I mean, it's been probably happening in the last 10 years, 10, 15. But like, I think, especially maybe with COVID too, I don't want to, make societal predictions, but people are looking to escape. And I think this is just people are really looking for these kinds of books right now. And I think 50 Shades very much paved the way of normalizing very open door sex scenes in books. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion. TM.
I mean, I can't.
Copyright.
I can't sit here and refute that. I don't fucking know. Well, okay. I have to take your word for it.
I have followed the genre. I think as I've always enjoyed these kinds of books, but I read them much less than I do now. Now I read them like constantly. Like there's tons of books coming in. I always have a bunch ready to go in this genre. Whereas like maybe even 10 years ago or less than that, I didn't have quite as much. And I'm curious for you, because you still read a lot of non-romance books.
Oh, yeah.
How do you pace yourself with I mean, do you try to read like 2 cowboy books or like actual cowboys, not fucking cowboys? Because that is actually a genre of romance. But like, how do you just always have one going? Do you read 2 books at once? How do you pace your romance intake?
I have the Kindle, so Kindle Unlimited is on there, and for that there's certain series that are only on Amazon. So there's a couple of action series. There's some of the Lucy scores you can only get on Kindle Unlimited. So I would say that's probably split 50-50 on there, but I probably read I'd say a majority of the romance stuff on the Kindle, and then or I read a majority, out of the books that I have rented from Kindle Unlimited. Other say most of them are romance oriented.
Yeah,
and I will try to go back and forth on there every other book or what have you. But once we started rereading Knock 'Em Out, I read all 3 of those back to back. Just all straight through. And then on my phone or on the library, it's just generally what's due next. It's with Hoopla and Libby and all these other things. It's whatever's coming up next, and I just put it on and go. Whatever's due. Or when we have to do the podcast, whatever book we're talking about that week.
Yes. This has changed my listening habits because I have to read things for this as opposed to like reading them for due dates. I dropped Magnolia, the third Magnolia Daisy Hates and Magnolia Parks. I dropped the third one because it just wasn't keeping my attention. I'm sorry, Magnolia.
Yeah,
you were too toxic.
don't tend to stop listening to books.
You're very good at finishing. You have that
yeah.
OCD.
The definite book OCD where I'm like, I will listen to it at quintuple speed just to get the listen done. To the point where it's barely even audible. Just so I can get that 100% check mark on there. But yeah, I mean the one to the list for the listeners at home, we both listen at a pretty high rate of speed. So I listen at double time. So,
I usually listen at 2. I am anywhere from 1.5 if there's like a heavy accent for the author, for the reader, or up to 2.2 is the fastest I'll go. You have listened at like 3 for the ones that you like just want to get through.
Yeah, there was one about the desert, the Southwest desert or something like that, and I was like,
that was a dad rental, right? Didn't dad rent?
Yeah,
dad rents weird stuff.
There was one about walking the Grand Canyon, which that was interesting. These two self-professed idiots tried to without any training hike the entire Grand Canyon, which did not go very well for them. But they made it finally after a year of doing it or whatever. But no, this other book was just like this guy's experience in the desert for a year, and yeah, it was interesting, but I was also like, I have other stuff that I want to read. So I listened to it at like 3. I think the fastest Libby will go is 3 times. So it was literally talking like this, and it was going like this, and they were going, I don't know, walking, and we're walking down the street, and he's going like, and
I don't feel like that should count as finishing the book, because there's no way that you retained what that book is. But you still have it marked as read on your Goodreads.
Fuck yeah.
This is a lie. You're a sham. You're a Goodreads liar. I am honest Goodreads. I might be a Goodreads rating whore. What number is that?
3.
It is a Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. Well, I drank yesterday for St. Patty's Day too, so it's been a long weekend, and we have family reunion, birthday party coming up this weekend too. So
we do have a family reunion this weekend. AJ's gonna help. He's going to be our art director for our photo shoot.
I thought we weren't taking photos.
We are taking photos. Lose weight by Saturday. You have 4 days to lose weight.
Well, you need to tell me what to bring, because
you're just going to bring the outfit that you wear every episode of this. You're going to bring your white t-shirt and your blue cardigan, and that's what you wear.
And my shorts, because you can't see my downstairs.
Oh, that'd be really funny. Just wear sweat. Like in the photo shoot, we're also just wearing pajama pants and then a nice shirt.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So would you recommend this book?
Yes. There's not going to be a lot of books that I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend this very specific. I think because it was so short.
Reminder, we're talking about Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren.
If you have forgotten at this point, Beautiful Bastard, Christina Lauren.
We kind of went on a little tangent there.
What was your description of this book again? Like a little bit of assault. She wants it.
Yeah. Chloe hates her boss, but she wants that dick.
She wants that dick.
It's question mark at the end.
What's the dick? That's all you need to know about this book. I would absolutely recommend it with the caveat of what this book is. Like, it's just a fuck fest. I mean, there's not a lot of you're not reading this for a deeper comment on society or workplace relations. This is just it is what it is.
It really sets a tone for workplace relations.
It sets a tone. You'll notice that none of the HR people were involved in this novel. So yes,
seemingly no HR department at all.
No, just the family business. The dad being like, we have a policy against that. And he was like, oh, well.
Whoopsies.
Oops. Moving on. Yeah. But yeah, I think I would absolutely, if people are looking for this kind of book, absolutely. And I think, too, it just makes me laugh because, Christina Lauren, I love her books. And the other books are so funny. And so this is just a different... their books. Thank you. But like this is such a different vibe from the rest of the novels that they write that like it's worth a read. And I am curious now after the second read to read more of the Beautiful Bastard series. So yes, I would recommend it. Would you recommend it?
After my first read, I would say read something else by them. But upon the second read, it is so different from the other stuff that we've read. I think it's worth it for the just literal change of pace. Like it is not formulaic. It has the absolute bare bones of what a romance novel usually has, but it is, if you like straight P and V sex, it is a straight cis relationship fuckfest. If that's your kink, then and doing it in all kinds of office type places, then yeah, I think you'd love it.
Yes.
I think that kind of explains it all.
Yeah. And it's only 320 pages. I also was looking back at my notes and I don't think I said this earlier, that it's been translated into 30 languages. So you can get your kink on anywhere in the world. So
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Penisato. I think there's
weak.
I know. I don't know that many languages.
Penisato. It sounds like a dick car.
There's always room for development. We should make that.
The Autobahn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're getting a little... Our jokes are only funny to us at this point. It's short. It's quick. Read it. Why not?
He's not short or quick.
No, he's very hot.
And he bangs for a long time.
How do you feel about the cover of this? For someone who's obsessed with covers of books, what do you think of this one? Would you read this book based on the cover? Yeah. Really?
Yeah. It's a dude like adjusting his cuff. Like I thought it was a Hitman book. Like I thought it was. Yeah. It has the look of a like he's an assassin or a Yakuza member or something. Okay. It does not look like he has a fully buttoned suit. There's no chest protruding or deep V lines on his fake muscles that don't exist in the real world. He's like adjusting his cuff like James Bond. Absolutely. On sheer cover alone, I'd absolutely read it, but I did not know what it was about. But yeah, it looks the cover's cool for sure.
I would not read it based on the cover. It's more of like a traditional romance cover of just like a picture of a guy and it's not his bare chest. He's wearing a suit, but there's nothing else to it. It's just a guy. And I don't think that the man on the cover, like that you can just see the bottom half of his face, but that part is not cute. And they lead it out to be this like...
He does have a very pointy chin on the book
very
cover. Very
pointy and thin lips, I think.
It's a fucking cartoon.
You read books based on the covers.
I know, but you're judging what they look like. It's not like you read the Pie Shop Fuckers, when in Rome, and you're like, that dude on the cover's so hot. It's a fucking cartoon.
Cartoons can be hot.
It's Jessica Rabbit or she's not. What was it? I'm not dirty. I'm just drawn that way. Sure, but like not these cutesy sex book covers.
Do you remember your nickname for this book? Like, did you It Happened One Summer, your nickname was like Fish Fuckers, and you still call it that book.
Yeah.
You still call that book Fish Fuckers. But did you have a nickname for this book, or was the title alone just explained it better than you could have?
I think I just I think I just referred to it as that fucking bastard or something like that.
Yeah.
That fucking bastard book or whatever. I don't think I had a specific. I don't think I had a specific one for this because all they did was business and bone. There you go. We can call this business and bone.
But even fucking bastard describes it. Like he is a bastard and he's fucking a lot. Okay. Oh God. I don't need to see you.
I was watching Dodgeball the other day. When was the last time you watched Dodgeball?
Probably a decade ago.
So Rip Torn is telling him about playing dodgeball. He's like, you gotta grab it by its haunches and hump it into submission. But he's in a wheelchair, so he's like literally just shaking his upper body. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And I mean, me and my buddies in high school used to say that line constantly. And so you got to grab it by its haunches and hump it into submission. And
you also said, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, if you dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. The other one, I was howling on my couch. I can only imagine what my neighbors fucking thought. But I was like, is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No, I do it because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Gross.
Oh my God, Rip Torn is so fucking good in that movie. We are wildly off topic.
Save that for one of these books that has golden showers. Then that line would really apply.
Not the emotional golden shower from the book last week.
The emotional golden shower of last week, but the an actual. I'm sure we've read a book with a golden shower.
Ooh. I don't remember.
Otherwise, it's the next challenge.
Yeah. The semen swapping wasn't enough from fucking around.
Yeah, actually, surprised there wasn't a golden shower in that book. I just feel like that book would have
different kinks. I mean,
I guess they covered enough in that book.
The breeding kinks and everything.
Did you ever read All Fours when I had it on the library? I forget who wrote it.
That's the one with the artist woman that goes on the sexual revolution cheating on her husband.
Yes.
No, I never read that.
You love cheating tropes. Just kidding. You hate cheating tropes. But there was a scene. I don't even know. It's not a romance novel, so I don't even. Whatever. It's a very odd novel. But there's a scene with peeing, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give it away. But
we give away everything on every book that we ever talk about on here.
I know, and obviously we're talking about golden showers, so like you can kind of connect the dots on that one.
You can follow that roadmap.
You can glean the scene, but that's the only book I can remember in recent history with a true like golden moment.
Golden buzzer. America's Got Talent. Pissing edition.
Beep beep.
Beep beep. Beep. Oh, what was that? Was that Horrible Bosses, where Charlie Day writes an ad for like we need a guy to take care of us, and whatever else, and it ends up being they thought they were ordering a hitman, but it was actually a male escort that came to pee on them all.
I don't remember.
I think that was Horrible Bosses, but okay.
We need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Unlike Bennett.
Unlike Bennett, who just sprayed everywhere. What do we have coming up next week, Helen?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're reading Blackbird and Butcher. The Butcher and Blackbird. Blackbird and the Butcher.
Butcher and Blackbird.
Butcher and Blackbird. I am butchering this title.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. We've read it before, and we're rereading it.
By Bryn Weaver.
Bryn Weaver, thank you. I'm thrilled. I cannot wait. It's
this book is different than some
out of the box.
It is hardcore romance with flair, with some twist to it.
Well, they're serial killers.
They are serial killers that kill serial killers.
Yes. And so go read it. This is your warning. You have 2 weeks until we release our Blackbird podcast. Go read it. This one you have to read before you listen. I don't want to spoil it. This is too special of a book. I don't know if that's the right word, but too specific of a book. You need to have read this before you just listen to us talk about it. Otherwise, you're going to think we're insane.
And also read the warnings at the front, because there is some gross fucking shit in this book.
Read trigger warnings, 100%. Oh my god! I'm going through the book in my brain. I can't wait. This is one of my favorite reads in the past few years.
It's gonna be a fun one.
I'm excited. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for indulging us.
Honestly, we shouldn't even say thank you. We should just apologize.
Sorry for all the tangents, smutters and smutettes.
Smirts. Oh God!
Thank you for listening to Sibs Read Smut podcast.
We'll see you next time. Stay smutty.
Stay smutty.
Stay smutty.